welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. My name is Kaylee, and today's video is all about the ways that I feel my most authentic, joyful, most highest self, and live my best life. I wanted to share this with you because I know I like to watch videos like this and just kind of get empowered and inspired to feel happy and feel fulfilled and content. For most of my life, I really struggled with self-love. I constantly thought negatively about myself, was very insecure, often needing to seek reassurance and validation from other people. I didn't really know how to do that for myself very well, and identified with my mind. So what I mean by that is, I don't know if you've heard the phrase, don't believe everything you think. But I used to. I'm a lot more aware of that now, whereas before, a majority of my life, I listened to the negative, harsh, critical thoughts about myself and other people, and really my lens that I saw life through, my perspective, was very dark, very negative. I struggled with depression and anxiety for quite a few years, and eventually kind of hit rock bottom and didn't want to live anymore. It's so important to talk about mental health and health in general, not only mental health, but physical health, obviously, and spiritual health as well, because they all are connected. Some of these things I'm going to share might seem a little bit obvious, where you're like, well, duh, like, of course if you do that, you're going to feel better. But I don't know, maybe this video will motivate you a little bit to start implementing some of these things into your life, or just encourage you to explore and discover things that help you feel the best you and feel content and not always in search of something, in search of happiness. So many of us think that happiness is when we look a certain way, or when we achieve a certain goal, or gain a certain status, or get a certain amount of money, or whatever, something outside of ourselves. But what I've learned, and one of the biggest things, is happiness, true happiness, is within yourself. And that might sound really cheesy and cringy, but it is so true. Before I ramble on for too much longer, let's just get right into it. These are my top ways that I feel my best, most joyful, and highest self. One of the biggest things that I do, and I talked about this a little bit more in my managing thoughts video, so I think it was one of the first videos I ever made, and it's talking to yourself. So I talk to myself all the time, and that sounds really weird, but it's automatic thoughts. That's your ego. That's your false self. And when you become aware of that and you just watch what's going on in your mind, the awareness, the soul, like the core of who you really are, outside of the chitter chatter in your head, that is your spirit, your soul, that is you. So when I, the true me, can talk to myself in my head, talk to that ego, and I soothe myself, and that's helped me be a lot more confident and really just have a better relationship with my mind, with my inner child. And I am totally, like, 99% more content to be alone now. I used to really struggle being alone. I always wanted to be around people, and I would always look for other people to validate me, my beliefs, or I don't know, give me reassurance. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I still probably do that a little bit. I think a lot of us do, but for the most part, I try to talk to myself and be my own best friend. And I say to myself what I would want someone else to say to me. And this has been huge. Even when I start being anxious about things like, oh, I need to do this, or what if this happens, I'll say, and I'll talk to myself like, Kaylee, come back to the moment. Are we causing our own suffering right now by trying to play sidekick and guessing what's going to happen in the future when we don't really know? Yeah, maybe we are. So let's reel it back in. Where are we right now? I have a choice to make. I can either continue to listen to these thoughts and go down that path, or I can come back to the present and choose something to feel my best right now and not listen to those anxious, fearful thoughts. So another thing too is just saying affirmations to myself, saying loving things to myself. And at first, when I was still really struggling with self-love and insecurity, it was challenging and it felt really awkward, and I didn't really believe it a lot of the time. So even there's days, especially as women, we look in the mirror and instantly start nitpicking. And I get that little voice in my head of, oh, I still need to lose weight. Oh, my face looks really round and chunky today. Ugh, it is so frustrating that our minds do that, but it just happens. We're human, and in today's society with social media, with all of the influencing and telling us what we should look like and what's beautiful, and I want to love myself the way that I am. And it was very hard, and it still is hard sometimes, but we were made to look like this. You were made to look the way you look. I was made to look this way. Even if I were to ask my friends, what don't you like about my face? They would probably tell me, Kaylee, you're crazy, you're beautiful, what are you talking about? So why is it okay for us to be mean to ourselves and think we need to change things about ourselves? It's really silly, because we wouldn't say that or think that about our friends. I mean, maybe you would, but ask yourself, is that really you? Is that really coming from a place of love, or is that coming from some judgment and some ego? Something to think about. I really believe in the law of attraction, and that what I think and what I say is what I put out. So for example, the other day I was just, my mind was being really negative. I was kind of seeing the world through this cranky negative lens, as we do sometimes. And it was so funny because I was cold, I was outside, and I was cranky, and I don't know, I just was focusing on all the negative and really believing all these negative thoughts that were coming up. And it was so funny because I literally got pooped on by a bird. And it's just as soon as that happened, in my head, I'm just laughing. I'm like, okay, universe, I hear ya. I brought this on. I'm being so negative that I literally attracted a bird pooping on me, and it, got all over my nice jacket and my hat and whatever. And it actually kind of grounded me and was like, snap out of it, Kaylee. Stuff happens all the time, and it's just another opportunity for learning and for growth. And I'm gonna make the best of today. What you say to yourself and what you say to other people, that all is what you're going to attract. So the next thing kind of going with that is keeping promises to myself. This is a tough one for me. I'm still really learning how to do it, but it's helped me with my confidence so much, and I didn't realize that I did not trust myself before, and I think that's why I always sought out validation from other people. Keeping promises to yourself, you learn to trust your intuition, trust your gut, even starting with something really small. One of the biggest things that I started with was, I was like, okay, I know that meditating is such a good thing for me mentally and spiritually, because it helps get me out of my head, back into my body, my spirit, the core of who I really am, and less in my head and just listening to everything I think, because I know that it's not true. And it helps me have such a better day. I feel so much more grounded and clear. So it was like, okay, I'm gonna start off with 2 minutes of meditating each morning. And often I'd wake up and that little voice in my head would say, oh, I don't want to. And I'm like, 2 minutes, Kaylee, we're doing it. And just starting off with that, or even promising that you're gonna say no when you want to say no. It's very empowering, and you can say it in a loving way, and the other person might be upset, and that sucks. It does. You obviously don't want to upset the people that you love, but that's their responsibility. That's their choice to react that way. And if you're still being considerate and respectful and loving when you say no, but doing it to prioritize your own needs, at first it can be super uncomfortable, and that little guilt monster might creep in, but there's also this underlying gratification and kind of like this sigh of relief I find, where it's like, oh, I did it. And I feel so good after. It's like, wow, I chose me. The next thing is meditating. I'm just gonna briefly touch on this because I kind of mentioned it before, but meditating is such a beautiful, easy way to get out of the noise in your head, stop listening and identifying to your thoughts, and come back to your energy and to your true self. So coming back into your body, and you can really do it anywhere. I like to do it in bed when I first wake up. It just sets the tone for the day. But even sometimes I'll do it in my car. If I'm just sitting in a parking lot, I'll just close my eyes and focus on my breathing for like a minute or two and just focus on the energy in my body, my breathing, the fact that like I'm just breathing automatically. I'm just alive right now. And even at work, work can be stressful, high energy. When I go on my break, a lot of the time taking that last like 5-10 minutes, or even like a minute or 2 minutes to just close my eyes, feel my body, feel my breath, and it just quiets all of this. I feel less tension in my body and less chaos. Gets rid of like any stress, and I just feel so much more calm and clear, and it makes for a much better shift, makes for a better day. Meditating, I don't know, to me is such an easily and accessible tool because you and your body are with you all the time, so you can literally do it almost anywhere. Even if you're like in the bathroom sitting on the toilet, you could do it. And a lot of people are like, oh, I can't meditate, I've tried meditating, blah, blah, blah. Everyone can meditate. It's all it is taking a moment to be still and to feel your energy and your breath. It's all it is. And there might still be some thoughts that come up. That's cool. They come up, you can watch them and watch them go away. And remember to just keep coming back to your breath. That's all meditating is. Try it. And then that leads me to my next thing, which is listening to my body. I really make the choice, especially when I notice like, oh, I'm having a rough day. Or why is everything so crappy right now? Why am I thinking so negatively? And it's like, okay, I know now that I'm in my head too much and I need to come back into my body. So that partially, it kind of goes with meditating, but just coming, and I'll even ask my body, like, what are you needing? Or show me what you need. And I might get like a wave of just exhaustion, and it's like, okay, I need rest. If I am getting run down or getting sick, that's my body sending me a message that I am doing too much and I am not prioritizing my health enough, and I need to make that a bigger priority. I need to get more sleep, more rest, be fueling it with healthy things. And you just want to feel good. I felt like for so many years, I wasn't in touch with my body, so I would make a lot of choices that were not in its best interest. Drinking a lot of alcohol, smoking cigarettes, marijuana, eating lots of junk food, you name it, like just so unhealthy. And I felt like crap. I did. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, felt like crap. It's all connected. When I choose to fuel my body with foods that I feel are healthy for it, that make me feel my best, when I move it, whether that's walking, stretching, working out, whatever, I feel so good after. And it's like, why? I ask myself, like, why would I choose my own suffering? Why would I choose to put stuff in it that's gonna make me feel like crap when I could choose stuff for it that makes me feel so good? So much we look for that instant gratification of, short-term feeling good. So whether you like buy something new, or you have a drink, or you eat bad food, all of these things our mind tricks us and tell us is going to make us feel happy, but it's like so short-lived. You feel good for such a short period of time, and then it's on to the next thing. Then you're right back where you started, or you feel worse. That's why it's so important to be present in the moment and listen to your body and make the choices that are going to not only help you feel better right now, but also help you feel better in the long run. Moving my body is just part of that. That's another huge thing that I've started doing. And before, I had a really toxic relationship with moving my body, with food as well, but I feel like that's a topic for a whole nother video. When I started changing my mindset and not listening to the thoughts telling me that, oh, I need to work out, oh, I need to work out so I can lose weight, oh, I need to work out because I ate bad yesterday, and I changed it to, I want to move my body because I know it makes me feel really good. And whether that's 10 minutes, whether that's an hour, I just, okay, I'm gonna put on my workout clothes, and so many times I don't feel like it, but I just talk to myself through it and say, Kate, we're putting on our workout clothes now. Kate, we're walking out the door. Kate, we're putting on our workout playlist. Because I know that moving my body, I feel less tension, I feel less tight. It grounds me back into my body. My mood gets so much better. I feel so much happier after I move my body, after a good workout, a good sweat sesh. And it's so rewarding and gives you not only that short-term happiness, but helps you in the long run as well. Obviously, so many benefits to moving your body, but if you can just start to be aware of those unhealthy thoughts, and cool, you might still have them, but not listening to them and talking to yourself instead of why you want to move your body, and just taking it moment by moment, taking it step by step. And the more you do that, the more you practice it and keep promises to yourself and keep doing it, it gets easier and easier. I think not even just with moving your body, but with any of these things I'm talking about. I like feeling good and I am in control of if I feel good or not. And the choices I make are going to lead me either in the direction of not feeling good or feeling good. And again, applies to everything I'm talking about, not just moving your body, but moving your body is a huge one. So get outside, go for a walk, even if it's just 10 minutes around the block. Just taking a little bit of time for yourself, keeping a promise to yourself, you will feel so much better. That kind of leads me to my next one, which is getting outside. Even if you're just sitting on your front deck or on your back deck, or go for a walk around your neighborhood, even if it's 5 minutes, we are meant to breathe fresh air, that oxygen, be in the sunlight, or just listen to the birds, look at the trees. We are one with nature, the same life energy that creates all life, not just human life, but plant life, animal life, the life of this whole earth, this whole universe. We all come from it. We are all one. And I feel like so many of us, it's like, wow, when I'm in nature, that's when I feel the most at peace. There's a reason for that. So by getting outside each day, if you can, I know for those of you like me that live in very cold climates, it can be a little bit challenging sometimes, but put on that parka, put on those gloves, that toque, and even just stand outside for a couple minutes. Oh, it's so, you just feel so much more clear, and it really helps boost your mood. So I highly encourage you, start getting outside more.